This is Brimstone by Callie Hart. In this book, Saeris Fane navigates the dangerous aftermath of slaying King Malcolm. Born as a Fae-vampire hybrid, she finds herself reluctantly thrust into the role of Queen of the Blood Court, a position of supreme authority she never wanted. Early on, her godbound mate, Kingfisher, or Fisher, used his last bit of healing magic to save Cyrus's beloved fox, Onyx. Tension reaches a breaking point during the formal coronation ceremony inside the Hall of Tears. The proud vampire lords and court elites openly challenge Cyrus, refusing to bow to a hybrid ruler unless she proves her dark nature by feeding in front of the courts. To secure her position and protect her, Fisher willingly offers his own blood. Their feeding bonds release an intoxicating, overwhelming surge of power that completely subjugates the rebellious nobles and forces them to honor her. Saeris immediately leverages her new power to issue binding edicts to protect her allies while wrestling internally with the burden of the crown. I think Cyrus's transformation highlights how true leadership is forced upon those who least desire it, turning her battle against the court into a test of resilience and strategy. Following her coronation, Cyrus struggles to manage the treacherous blood court while adapting to her new hybrid nature. Meanwhile, Kingfisher investigates a horrifying new threat, a corrupting rot, infecting creatures, leaving a path of destruction behind it, also finding that using their magic only feeds these creatures. Seeking answers, Cyrus visits Fisher's half-sister, Everlane. She accidentally activates Quicksilver, triggering a divine connection, allowing the spirit of Kingfisher's mother, an ancient oracle, to briefly possess Everlane. She warns Cyrus that her dangerous alchemist runes will eventually consume her if she doesn't seal them using a hidden library text, a mission she must keep secret from Fisher. A cosmic warning reveals that the universe is breaking, and the couples face a heartbreaking decision. Because traveling through Quicksilver is deadly for Cyrus, his new form, Carrion and Fisher travels to the human realm to rescue Cyrus's brother, Hayden, leaving her alone to master her magic and keep the court together. As Fisher prepares to leave for the human realm to retrieve her brother, Hayden, he and Cyrus share an intense emotional farewell that cements their bond. Left alone in Blood Court, Cyrus immerses herself in dangerous magic training and fighting training to master her hybrid abilities, while searching for the secret library text mentioned by Edina's spirit to seal her alchemist runes. Tension grows rapidly when news arrives of rot, proving the infection is spreading faster than anticipated. Cyrus steps into her full authority as queen, issuing tactical commands to defend the court and protect her people. She navigates treacherous political maneuvers among distrustful vampire lords who seek to exploit Fisher's absence, testing her power through a mix of strategy and power. I think this section, Cyrus proves herself and everybody else that she is perfectly capable of ruling by herself rather than depending on Kingfisher. I feel like after Kingfisher left the moments of salvation capture her burden as a ruler can feel even more heavy. In this part, Fisher's traveling through the dangerous and chaotic streets of Zilvaren with Carrion. Fisher searches for essential silver relics and Cyrus's brother, Hayden, navigating deadly back allies while dodging Queen Madra's watchful guards. Fisher must keep the reckless Carrion under control while confronting new threats. Back at home, Cyrus's alchemical runes grow increasingly unstable and painful to suppress. Deep in the palace archives, she frantically searches for ways to seal the runes before they consume her entirely. Her research is violently disrupted in the library when she is ambushed by the library by Folly, thought to be a lost vampire, forcing her to guard her secrets while fighting for her life. With the threat spreading near the borders and the unstable Quicksilver threatening the realm, Cyrus must maintain her authority, also proving her resilience, refusing to let the court crumble. I think splitting Fisher and Saeris shows that both characters can work efficiently and effectively under pressure and separated. Following her coronation, the confrontation, the library, Saeris finally manages to control and calm Folly and extract critical intelligence. Regarding the betrayal festering in the Blood Court, realizing that treacherous elements among the nobles are actively aiding the rot spreading, she uses her authority to execute a swift, calculated interrogation. Meanwhile, the agonizing strain on her body increases as alchemist's runes react violently to the proximity of the dark magic, forcing her to conceal her weakening state from her political rivals. In Zilvaren, Fisher and Carrion tracked down Hayden, but it was fraught with danger and complication. Hayden is shocked and skeptical of Fisher's true identity, making him resistant in fleeing his home. As Queen Madra tightens her security, Fisher is forced to step into a high-stakes street skirmish to protect Hayden. At Amontryeth, Cyrus discovers a vital key within the books. Sealing her runes requires a ritual involving ancient silver and pure Fae flame. She braces herself to hold the throne until Fisher returns with the silver that is needed to save her. In Zilvaren, Carrion, Fisher, and Hayden navigate the dangerous underground networks while dodging Queen Madra's ruthless enforcers. Fisher works very hard to gain Hayden's trust, explaining the reality of the supernatural realm and the true nature of Cyrus's transformation into the Queen of Bloodcourt. After securing the vital silver relics required for Cyrus's binding ritual, the trio narrowly escapes into the Quicksilver. Meanwhile, at Amontryeth, the situation turns catastrophic as a massive herd of rock-corrupted beasts launch an assault against the palace walls. Cyrus takes direct command of the defense, channeling her hybrid instincts and dark magic to hold the gate. Mid-battle, her alchemist runes flare to a critical threshold, inflicting physical pain. Just as the defense starts to break, Fisher, Carrion, and Hayden rush in. They push back the infected horde. Reunited, Saeris and Fisher prepare to immediately do the binding ritual, knowing her runes will consume her if they wait any longer. I feel like Cyrus and Fisher's reunion is so deeply emotional, showing how their unwavering trust becomes their greatest strength when everything else is falling apart. Cyrus and Fisher return to the inner sanctuary to perform a dangerous binding ritual using the silver relics from Zilvaren. The process is intensely painful, requiring Cyrus to endure the agonizing stabilization of her alchemist runes, also requiring Fisher to channel into the silver flames. While Cyrus recovers, Hayden slowly understands the new and terrifying position of his sister as the Queen of the Blood Court, and Fisher guides Hayden, letting the human adjust to the intense feeling of shock and calming down. However, tranquility is brief, with the danger of the rot arising again. But thankfully, Kingfisher was there, and also Cyrus can use her magic without the excruciating pain. The vampire lords challenge and doubt Cyrus's judgment, and challenge her in harboring a human in the palace. Taking the throne as Fisher, she forces the nobles with absolute authority. The, the section is a satisfying turning point for Cyrus, as she no longer needs to fear the runes consuming her, and can rule comfortably. Cyrus and Fisher realize that the realm's fracturing magic comes directly from the gods. Cyrus and Fisher turn their focus to the uncovering of the ancient origins of the curse infecting the land. In the wake of the library confrontation and political chaos, they analyze information with only their closest allies. Cyrus continues to forge a fragile peace with the vampire lords, using her newly stabilized rune power to make a united front against a catastrophe that was coming. Meanwhile, Fisher works to prepare the court's defenses while protecting Hayden's safety. The bond between Cyrus and Fisher deepens significantly as they confront their shared anxiety of what may come next. The tension escalates when scouts report abnormal shifts across borders and mass movements among the rot, corrupted populations beyond the Quicksilver. Realizing the barrier between realms is breaking down far faster than they thought, Cyrus, Fisher, and their inner circle begins to frantically search for ways to stop it or prepare for safety. I like how Cyrus and Fisher trust and rely on each other, even when the world is a mess. Cyrus and Fisher lead their inner circle out to confront and find the source of corruption. Traveling from shifting land to another, distorted by cosmic magic that was fracturing, the group faces terrifying manifestation of rot and had to combat to the absolute best of their abilities. Cyrus relies on her newly stabilized magic and sealed runes, fighting the rot. On the way, Cyrus grows more and more concerned because Kingfisher didn't think to come through the Quicksilver with them. With horrible chaos everywhere, Cyrus felt that her fury and frustration would explode any minute. Cyrus felt like she knew where Kingfisher was and went to Dania for help. The help she needed was being knocked out so she can go to a place that somehow Cyrus and Fisher had access to, only when they weren't conscious. Fisher was there, his body, but his soul, or the real body, wasn't there. Deeply concerned Cyrus, and she set out to rescue him. As Cyrus finds Kingfisher, she is horrified to see that he is trapped and bound by dark entities. Facing the terrifying prospect of losing him forever, Cyrus knows the only way to invoke his true identity. Khydan Graystar Finvarra, which was possibly left in the book filled with Edina's predictions as an oracle. By speaking that name, she shatters the binds holding him. To permanently protect Kingfisher from ever having his true name used against him as a weapon of control, she uses her undoing runes so that nobody can control him ever again. Shortly after, her beloved fox, Onyx, is injured and had died. Cyrus refused to let him really die and used all her magic and the undoing rune to bring him back to life. Even though she shattered some runes, this book ends as a cliffhanger, continuing with Kingfisher next to Cyrus, demanding audience with his father to make a dangerous trade for a dragon to prepare for the coming war.